Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. It's great to be with you. I hope that you are well. I'm continuing the picture I'm doing in Wildflower Folk by Christine Karron using primary colors. Now let me explain the brown and the white. The white is used to blend because sometimes I may need pink or I may need a lighter shade, and I can't mix or dilute these colors. I can mix these colors into each other and blend them in, but if I want pink, I need white to help me with pink. So white is not a color, it is a hue, and it is used as a blending tool and to soften colors in some places. And then the dark umber is taking the place of a black, and I only use it very sparingly, and that is just to help give a bit of dimension and depth to my very deep shadows. Other than that, I am honestly only using primary colors, as you see here. So I'm going to continue with this coloring page using these 5 pencils, but focusing as much as possible on these primary colors. I want to do the entire page with only these pencils. So today I'm going to be working more on this beautiful portrait, and I want to go in and work on her hair, the flower bits and the leaves here. Now I'm going to try and create green using primary colors, and I'm thinking these beautiful bits here I might do pink with a bit of yellow in. So we'll see how those work and get on. All right, I'm just finished setting up. Hi Noel, hi Kali. All right, I'm going to zoom you in closer to this section, and we're just gonna carry on. Maybe at the end when I'm tying up this page, I might go in and work more on her skin tone, but we will see how that goes. Hi Shani, hi Precious. And as I'm doing this, I will just share the bit of color theory that I understand. It is subject to change and subject to grow as my skills and understanding grow. Okay, so I'm going to take yellow. Now I'm wanting these leaves, especially these nice big ones, to be probably more of like a vibrant rich green. So we'll see how much we do. Now, as far as I understand, when you're creating green, the more yellow you have in your green, the more of a yellowy green you'll get. The more blue you have, the more of a bluey green you'll get. So it all depends on how it layers. But for now, I'm going to do these big ones more of a yellow green, and these smaller ones I will try to do more of a blue type green, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my yellow here in these highlights areas. Okay. And just trust the grayscale. Hi Ronnie, how are you? Hi Angela. Trust you're all well. Alright, so where I'm putting my yellow, I'm going to remind myself that these are my highlights, so I need to keep that quite light. All right, I'm going to use some paper just to protect. It's been quite hot by us, so my hands do get a little bit sweaty and sticky. So to protect the picture from any of my skin oils, I'll just use a piece of paper under my hand. I haven't yet thought of a background. Maybe that will come later on. Okay, so now, what do you want to do with that?
This is 1.5 cups.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, my boy. Okay, so I'm going to use my red in my deep shadows. And if you want to deepen your shadows using the opposite color or complementary colors, it will help create that shadow. So we do want red in here. Again, I find this technique is really lends itself to more layering than blending or smooshing it into each other. Because you're working on blending your colors and creating colors. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the skin. I need to see how this page is going to look with more colored in before I start second guessing her skin tone and changing it. I'm a little worried that there's not enough pink in her skin, but I'm telling myself to wait and trust the process. Hi Kenny, how are you? Again, you just need to follow the grayscale. Okay. So everywhere it's very dark grayscale, I just want to put in my red pencil. So now I'm going to take my blue pencil. Actually, sorry, I missed a few bits here. Along here. A wee bit there. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my blue. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to layer my blues and my yellows, and we're going to just build this up. And how it will turn out will be how it will turn out. It may turn out great, it may not, but that's okay. The process is what's important. Now, of course, you don't have to color with primary colors. It's just fun. It's just a nice fun challenge. And it's also exciting to watch and see how, as you layer and layer and layer, things actually change. So where I want my highlight, I'm going very lightly with my blue, so I don't lose all the yellow, but I can go and add more yellow. I quite like the idea of giving it a bit of a yellow highlight. So where we would have like a white highlight on our leaves, I'm going to just give it more of a yellow one. So that's okay. Hi Dawn, how are you? Hope you've had a good weekend. Oh, exciting! You're having a good go with it and trying with polys and grains of gold. That's so cool. And how are you enjoying the experience? Oh, well done for being brave. I'm so proud of you. It is a challenge mixing it. I do agree. And it's quite a challenge to get the color right. You know, getting the balance of the colors. How much blue do you put and how much? But I think the more one plays around with this idea, if nothing else, you grow in understanding how the primary colors work, even with paints. So with pencils, I think it's probably a little bit trickier because you're not mixing on a palette, you're mixing on paper. So I'm erring more on the side of going slow and steady than quick for this page, because I need to get as much as I can the balance of the three colors. I mean, it doesn't look very green right now. Oh, I'm glad you're trusting the process and enjoying it. I think trusting the process is often underrated in many areas of life. Oh, fair enough. You would have burnished with prismas, so you chose polys. Fair enough. I always find I start with my comfort zone when I'm trying something new. And then I kind of build from there. Oh, thanks, Kenny. Thank you, Dawn. Glad you like it. And if we want purple, we can just layer blue and red. Then I would probably lean into white to create softer shades of purple. Okay, there's a little bit here I missed. And then I didn't go over the edges here, so I'll just do that. I missed a few spots. Oh dear. Trusting the process. All right, so now I'm gonna go over, I think with my yellow, and yeah, because we need it to start turning green. Hi, Brittany. So we do need enough yellow to turn the blue into green. Exactly, yellow, blue makes green. And I'll deepen the shadows with the red, and you'll see it will work really, really well. And if it's not coming out too well because of lack of experience, we'll just add some brown. Okay, look, we're getting green, yay! I'm glad you like the blue leaves. I need to work on being a bit more adventurous with color combos when it comes to leaves and all sorts of things, because I'm such a creature of habits, and I really want to kind of like break that sort of like rut and give myself more freedom to play around with different colors. So letting go of that, you know, photorealism kind of thing to a certain extent. Okay, so here we're seeing the start of our green leaves. Yay! And we're just gonna work on building this all up. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back with my blue to try and deepen the screen now. And if the leaves turn out different, we'll just adjust the picture. Pencils getting shorter. Well, that means that you love them and you've done a great job at using them. If you can get open stock, it helps a little bit. I quite like mine getting short sometimes. It's a bit like a, oh yeah, I'm really using this one. And then they get stubby and I think, oh my goodness, I need to go get new ones. We just do it up like that. Okay, so I'm going to come down to the sleeve and work on this one. And then I'll go over again with the yellow, but I'll probably focus more on the mid to dark tones. And we'll add in a bit more red to the very deep shadows. Okay, so let's add a bit more red in here. Now the red will mix with the yellow and it will give that orange undertone or give an orangey tint. So the red complements the green, which will give us darker shades of green. If it gets into contact with the yellow, it will work with the blue. Just do a wee bit around certain areas, and that will deepen our green. So now I'm gonna go over with my blue. Right, so it's layer, 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 but we'll get there. We could actually try and turn some of these into water drops. I think that could be a lot of fun, so we'll finish the leaves and then I'll work on a couple of water drops. So I want to keep these ones here. Okay, so let's just make sure. You don't necessarily want to lift up all the color. You do want to lift up some. Okay, and I'll use that to try and create water drops. Okay, so now I'm going to go over again with yellow. Now you can use mineral spirits if you like, and you could blend it out using mineral spirits, and that will help save the tooth of your paper, so you could keep on layering and layering and layering. Alright, so here is where you can either have a bluey green or a yellow green, depending on how much of the yellow you put down. So as you can see, it's a very vibrant green at the moment, and that's because of the yellow. We've put quite a lot of yellow. Jody, how are you? Okay, so I'm going to go around the bubbles with the brown umber. That's just to help me outline them. I don't want to lose them. And then you can put inside bits of yellow. And then some blue. I think we need a slight shadow. So wherever you would put your shadow, you need to show where your light source is. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use a bit of this brown now in here. Really just sticking to very deep shadows. Okay. I want more blue. I'll just put more blue in here. Oh, thank you. Okay, so here I'm going to take my white pencil and I'm going to try and blend this. But I'm going to try not burnish because I want to come in and liven it up again. So I do need tooth on the paper in order to do that. And I may not necessarily go all the way into the shadow areas. We'll see. You could probably use a cream pencil to burnish. It doesn't have to be white. I'm being very rigid with myself and trying to stick as much as possible to these 5 pencils. But if you want to experiment and play, you're welcome to do so. It's your picture, your process. I just thought it would be really great fun to play around with primary colors, do something different. And then at the end of the coloring page, we'll add white highlights into our water drops. Oh, thank you so much, Precious. Bye, Precious. Take care. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. Good luck with your page. Okay, I'm going to bring in some more yellow, and I'm going to try and liven up some of these areas because I don't want it to look milky. I want it to look vibrant and rich green leaves. But I do like that the white pencil just helps to blend everything back together. Okay, so there we have green leaves. Now I'm going to come to these smaller leaves and do a similar process, but I'm going to change it up a bit, and I'm going to start with my blue and yellow first, and then later on add the red and see how does that change the whole picture. Because I want more bluey green over here. So this is going to be interesting. I've got lighter there. I need to sharpen my pencil. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like the leaves. Right, so if I press a bit harder and build up more my shadow areas, but have a lighter blue in the highlights, let's see how that turns out. Okay, now some yellow. Oopsie, that didn't work. Oh my goodness. Color break. I would like to get her new books. Yes, I love the paper on especially this style of paper. And I actually don't think I need to get her Amazon quality books if she's going to be bringing out such lovely printed books. So yes, I would like to get her books. As far as I was aware, she just had the one that's just been pre-released. I wasn't aware she was doing a second one. Oh no, Shani, I'm sorry your internet just went down. That's no fun. Alright, so again, more blue because I want bluey green and not yellow. But I need the yellow to make the green. I wonder if we use a bit more red, what will that do? Okay, so red here now. Just kind of glaze it over. So if I take a pencil and I go very lightly over the whole thing, that's called glazing, where you're just putting a touch of color, but you're not blending it. You just want it there. Okay, so go back in with blue. Making sure I've got a heavy amount of blue. Okay, and then I want a little bit of yellow, but I'm going to make sure I don't press too hard because I really do want bluey green and not yellow green. So just a touch. Go back over that with blue, but the blue I'm putting down more heavy. And I think I will need some more red. Oops. All right, fix it later, fix it later. Okay, so more red. Again, not very hard, just going over it gently. Deeper in the shadows and then glazing or lightly over the highlights. Okay, back to blue. Okay, I'm going to pop in a little bit of brown along here so I can make sure my leaves kind of, you can see that they're sitting on top of each other. back over blue. I need lots of blue. And a bit more red. Again, I'm holding in my pencil quite far back to just help me get enough red on without overdoing it. So here you can see I'm really using more blue than any of the other colors. All right, let's use a white pencil and blend this and see how it looks. And all I really want is just to make sure my leaves are different so they don't get lost. And if I can achieve that, then I'm happy. I'm not going to overly faff. I'm just going to trust the process and see what it does. Okay, I'll just tidy this up. There we go, a little bit tidier. Oh look, we've got two more down here. Okay, so we need to do the same thing over here. Goodness, okay. Now I've got to remember how I did it. Okay, so I did blue. Heavy blue at the tip. This is why it's better to make sure you pick out all the same elements and color the entire elements, you know, all of them at the same time. It will help with making sure that you're using the right sequence of colors and all of that. But hi ho, never mind, just carry on. Okay, and then we need yellow to make it blue. Not make it blue, make it green. Gosh, can't make blue. And then go over it with blue. If these ones turn out different, then so be it. Okay, so now I'm going to use my red. just gently over. Right, so we're getting there. I do want to move on to her hair, so I need to do that, or at least get it started. Okay, a bit more red. And just a touch more yellow, just to help us keep that green going. Right, bit of brown. Just a wee bit. All right, and I need my white pencil. Oh dear. Oh, it's on the floor. Okay, here we go, I found it. Okay, well, they can be a bit different. We'll add on a bit more blue. And maybe a bit more red. We'll see. We shall see. I think it needs more blue. I'm gonna just try blend that. I don't really want too much yellow. It's not gonna work. Okay, the brown pencil to go outlining the droplets. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've done her leaves. Now we can try and do her hair. I can try it. I want to try and bring the green and the blue into her hair, but I also think maybe tinges of red would work. So let me try with red first. It's maybe more. Yeah, I don't actually know. All right, let me put some yellow in the highlights area. So I'll do yellow here. Now the idea is to try and do all the hair at the same time. So that's dark, bit of light here. I mean, I don't really mind what color hair she ends up with, really. Mainly because I like the idea of her not looking anything out of a photo. I like the idea of her looking magical, looking different. Alright, so I'm going to bring in red along here. Okay, so let's do red. Now in here is not going to have an awful lot of light. So to keep her hair, we're gonna need to make sure we're kind of doing that hair technique. All right, we need a wee bit of yellow here. Let me zoom out a wee bit so you can see a bit more. So I want her hair to kind of end up blending into water. But in order for me to deepen the water, I'm gonna need some red. So it's all gonna end up how I balance the color. And I also don't mind if the water doesn't look blue, because technically water is transparent, so it could look like anything. Okay, so now let's go in with blue. do need behind the back here quite dark, so I need to remember that. Probably doing this with polys would be better because you keep more of the individual strands. But anyway, never mind. We can just see what we can make. Alright, I don't want yellow here, so I'm just going to kind of do it this way. And I want to get rid of yellow down here. I don't mind it being more of a murky, kind of watery color. Quite like that idea. Okay, I'm going to add more red so that I can try and get this hair to kind of be a bit different from the rest of the picture. So I don't need it magically different, just enough that it kind of is its distinct and unique element. want more red on the top and more blue at the bottom. Okay, so then I'm coming back to my blue. So what I'm trying to see if I can recreate here is like a bit of a purpley kind of tinge going on. I don't necessarily need to have full-on purple, but I would like to get more of a purple feel going onto her hair. Even if it goes like purple green, I think that could look really cool. So I don't mind if some of the yellow highlights turn more green. The idea is to try and create purple. And we get purple by mixing red and blue. So it's just going to take time, but hopefully I can make purple. So right now her hair looks very similar to her skin. All right, so right, so let's see, purple, the goal is to be purple. along here. I am also going to use that brown in here. I think that will kind of help me quite a bit. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like it. It's getting there. It's very different to the first one I did. I can tell you that. The first one I did, I think, came out a little bit more natural looking. Whereas this one, she's pretty, she just looks different. But Pickle, you're very brave at your coloring and you're very free. Whenever I do watercolor pages, I think very fondly of you and how you experiment and play. Okay, so I think down here needs maybe a bit more yellow. I'm going to glaze it over like that. Just gently, and then a bit here in my highlights. Not too much, just a wee bit. I like the idea of her being like a purpley, yellowy green. Alright, I need more red, I think, and then more blue. I genuinely have no idea what I'm doing. I just know I'm trying to get purple and I'm not sure it's working. I don't know what color I'm getting. I might stop after this amount of red and just layer blue. Like, girlie, you need more blue, less red. Oh, well done, completing another double in Kirby books. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels like they've forgotten how to color. I'm still struggling with a coloring block, so hi-ho, and just keep plodding along. Yeah, I'm going to use that brown umber in the back here just to help me kind of blacken it. And I will also redefine some of the shadows in her hair, because it's kind of getting a bit muddy now. Okay, so brown umber in here. And by layering brown and blue, or blue and, is it purple? No, it's blue and maybe even blue and purple, but you know, your dark colors, you can create a black without it looking black, which is pretty cool. So we need up here. Well, the thing is, it will all come back. Hi, Alexander. How are you? I think coloring or creative blocks or artist blocks, that's all part of the process. And sometimes life just happens and it gets hard for a minute, but that's okay. It all comes back in its own time. All right, now I'm gonna go with more blue. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. All right, she is definitely not going to end up with brown hair or any color hair. She's going to end up with primary color hair. Sometimes I'm not always sure if pictures should have backgrounds. I never can tell when a picture is going to benefit from a background and when the background detracts from the picture. All right, I'm going to take a white pencil and let's see what happens if we blend this. What will we get? Oh, thank you, Kenny. think I might even try and blend it out with a blending pencil. But let's see. I can always add more on top, so it's not the end of the world. I mean, I really want her to look like she belongs in water. Some sort of like water nymph or water goddess or something like that. Actually, let's blend the whole thing out with white and see what we get. It might actually be surprising. It might even just be what we looked for, because if her hair is wet, it's not gonna have like loads of like trailing hairs or anything like that. It's gonna kind of stick onto her head. So that could be to our advantage. Right here, I'll just blend this out, but I'll go over it again with that brown pencil. I mean, this might actually work okay. I don't know. Just go like this. She looks like a siren. Yeah. Pretty on the outside, dangerously creepy when you get close. I'll lure you with my charm and my good looks, and then eat you for breakfast. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. We've kind of got a purpley green weird color going on, so I think we'll leave it here. Actually, when I look on the screen, it works. It does work. Alright, that's what her hair looks like if I don't fiddle with it, which probably actually doesn't look too bad. It has got purple tinges to it, but at least it looks slightly separate from the leaves at the back here, so that's good. That's what I wanted. I'm just going to come over here with the brown, and then I'm going to go over that with blue and purple, and it's just to try and darken it up. Blue and red, sorry, not blue and purple. Because if I use a straight black, it will look weird. Oh, fabulous. I'm glad she looks like a water nymph. Okay, there we go. That looks a little bit more at the back. Okay. So all that is really left is to do the flowers, which would probably take me another hour. Alright, let's just give her a dust. Alright, we need to do her eyebrows, so let's do some red. Now I need to try and make sure I get like a purpley color on here. Oh, I'm so glad you can see purple. Blue. It's so cool to think it's been colored with three the primary colors, a brown pencil and a white pencil. It's super cool. It does require more patience though, because you really do have to layer and blend to get the colors that you want. Whereas when we just color with our beautiful sets of prismas and polys and all the colors that we've got in our gorgeous sets, whatever sets they are, you know, you've got more range, so you don't have to always worry about layering and layering. I won't take it down. I can do more like this if you guys like. We can experiment and see how many different ways can we blend primary colors, and I'm pretty sure each time it will come out differently. I don't think it's ever going to be the same. And then a bit of brown, just to neaten it up. There we go. Alright, so she's got eyebrows now. We do need to put back in her eyelashes though. It's kind of hard to see. I've colored over her eyelashes. Oh my goodness. Let's try. There we go. I'm trying to put them back. I couldn't see. Oh, fair enough. It does take a lot of practice and patience to get the blending. Okay, I'm going to zoom out to show you a bit better, and then right, so that's what she looks like, minus the flowers. So yeah, I think the flowers will take me anywhere from half an hour to an hour to do, so I can always finish this page next week and do another page, either a similar one or I can do a different one. I'll have to give it some thought, but we can start a new page next week. What's the date? I think it's the 7th and the 14th. No, the 7th of July I won't be doing a live stream. I have family visiting, so I won't be doing a live stream then, but I should be able to do a live stream probably around the 21st, because we've got a family birthday on the 14th as well. So the 7th and the 14th I probably won't do a live stream. That's in July, but then I'll be back doing live streams again. So thanks so much for hanging out with me and chatting, and it's been loads of fun to color an entire page with primary colors, a brown and a white pencil. So take care everyone. I hope you have a lovely week ahead, and I will see you next week. And Jodie, I hope that your Minnie's axolotl comes back safe and sound. Take care everyone. Bye.